Well, I think that it just became a little more physical. I didn't consciously do it. I just played along. I just whatever was happened to me, I just gave back, and it didn't take very long. It took about 2 or 3 weeks, and I was pretty much how I am right now. It was I don't know. I've never been shy to lay it in and bump around in there and hit each other. I like that. I think that that's better than some of the stuff you see in other companies, Japanese style. I mean, I like seeing sweat fly and spit fly and people red around the chest. I think it's just good for the business. So it didn't take me very long to change the way I was in NXT.
All right, and a follow-up question here from Sean. He wants to know how you went about approaching Matt Bloom regarding your decision to try and work with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
So Matt Bloom came down to, I believe it was just changing from FCW to NXT, and he was, at the time, I believe his name was Sweet Tea, and he was tagging with Brodus Clay. And he was coming down, and he was kind of transitioning from the end of his in-ring career into a commentator for NXT, so he was around a lot. And we became friends because he was a fan of the C.J. Parker character. He thought it was cool. We used to sit around and talk about, just different things about the character. And then it would always, turn to, like, Grateful Dead or, like weird classic rock stuff, but we became friends before anything. And then he knew I was frustrated the whole time, and he would always try to give me pointers and help me try to stay positive. And then he became a coach, and then the frustration continued to climb. And I told him, I'm not going to be here very much longer. I can't stand it. I got to get out of here. And he said, well, if you ever do leave here, you gotta let me try to get you a look from New Japan. And I was like, New Japan? There's no way I could work in New Japan. I just didn't think that I could. And around that time, I saw Wrestle Kingdom 9. I was watching Tanahashi and Okada and Nakamura, and then I started to really get into it. I watched the G1, and AJ was a big part of that, Chad, and I would go back and I watched Kenny Omega and Ibushi from Budokan a few years back, and then I was like, oh wow, it's really not that much different than it's what I wish WWE was: more wrestling and less talking and less bullshit, more telling the story in the ring, and just more classic pro wrestling. Not so much, this is sports entertainment. And then I kind of started to get fired up about it, and I just got lucky, and we were in the Bay Area, whatever WrestleMania was that. I think it was 31, and they were inducting Tatsumi Fujinami to the Hall of Fame. So Tiger Hattori and the president, Sugabashi, were at Access, and they came to say hi to Matt and Matt Bloom, and I just so happened to be going out to wrestle Baron Corbin. I didn't know they were there, but I went out, and I was just joking around, just having fun, because I already told Matt that I was done, and this would be my last weekend, so I was just acting like Shawn Michaels, because he was doing a signing maybe about a football field away in that big conference room or whatever it is. So I was calling myself Mr. WrestleMania Access, tuning up the band and just acting like a complete asshole. And Finn Balor and Matt Bloom were like, "Oh, Hattori, you gotta take this guy to Japan. He's a good dude, man. He loves wrestling." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, wow, he looks like a good worker, man." And then I got to the back, and he introduced me, and then we got the ball rolling. And a few months later, I was walking into the dojo. So it just all happened really quick and really smoothly, actually.